Have you ever felt like life is heavier than it should be? No matter how hard you try, staying positive, making the right choices, and pushing forward, something still feels off. It's frustrating, isn't it? You look around and wonder why peace seems so difficult to find, even when you're doing everything right. But here's the truth. The problem isn't life itself. It's how we see and react to it. Think about it. We live in a world that constantly tells us to strive for more. More success, more happiness, more control. Yet the more we chase these things, the more exhausted and unfulfilled we often feel. Why? Because we're operating under illusions, false expectations about how life should be. And when reality doesn't match these expectations, we suffer. This is where Stoicism steps in. The ancient Stoics, figures like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, understood that true peace doesn't come from controlling the world around you. It comes from controlling your own mind. Instead of resisting reality, they embraced it. Instead of chasing external validation, they focused on mastering their own thoughts and actions. Instead of fearing life's uncertainties, they learned to navigate them with wisdom and resilience. Today, we're going to uncover 10 uncomfortable truths that, once accepted, can set you free. These are not just intellectual ideas. They are practical shifts in mindset that can transform the way you experience life. Some may be hard to hear. Some may challenge what you've always believed. But if you take them to heart, you'll begin to see life through a completely different lens, one that is steady, grounded, and unshakable. So if you're ready to let go of the illusions that have been weighing you down and step into a new level of clarity and freedom, let's begin. If there's one belief that keeps people stuck in frustration, anger, and disappointment, it's this: life should be fair. From an early age, we're taught that if we work hard, do the right things, and follow the rules, success and happiness will naturally follow. It seems reasonable. After all, effort should equal reward, right? But reality tells a different story. Think about the world around you. Some of the most talented, hardworking people struggle to get ahead, while others seem to succeed effortlessly. People who do everything right still face unexpected tragedies, financial setbacks, or betrayals. Meanwhile, those who cut corners or manipulate others often seem to rise. This may feel unfair, but fairness was never a guarantee of life. It's simply a human expectation. The truth is, life is not fair, and expecting it to be will only lead to suffering. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't waste energy complaining about what was beyond their control. Instead, they focused on their own actions and responses. Because while we may not control what happens to us, we always control how we react. So what if we let go of the illusion that life owes us fairness? What if we stopped waiting for justice and instead focused on adapting, growing, and building strength through adversity? This is the Stoic mindset. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of unfairness is an opportunity to develop resilience. Instead of asking, "Why me?" start asking, "What can I learn from this?" Because the truth is, the world doesn't operate on fairness, it operates on reality. And those who accept reality and learn to navigate it wisely are the ones who find peace and success. How to apply this truth? Stop complaining. Complaining doesn't change reality. It only drains your energy and keeps you stuck in negativity. Let go of entitlement. The world owes you nothing. Instead of expecting fairness, focus on making the most of the hand you've been dealt. Take full responsibility. You may not control everything that happens, but you control your response. Choose resilience over resentment. When you release the expectation of fairness, you stop feeling like a victim and start becoming the architect of your own life. And that shift is where real power begins. Now let's move to another truth that keeps people trapped: comparison. In today's world, comparison is almost impossible to avoid. Everywhere you look, social media, workplaces, friendships, you are constantly exposed to what others are doing, achieving, and becoming. Scrolling through Instagram, you see someone traveling to exotic locations while you're stuck in your daily routine. On LinkedIn, someone announces their latest career milestone, while you question if you're moving fast enough. It's easy to feel like you're falling behind. But here's the truth: comparison is an illusion. What you see is never the full story. Social media and public perception show highlights, not reality. People don't share their struggles, failures, or moments of doubt. You see the success, but not the years of effort, rejection, and setbacks behind it. The person who seems to have it all might be battling internal struggles you'll never know about. Comparison distorts your perception of success. It tricks you into thinking that someone else's achievements mean your own progress is less valuable. But success is not a race. It's an individual journey. And the only person worth measuring yourself against is the one you were yesterday. A new perspective, the only meaningful comparison is with yourself. Instead of constantly looking outward, shift your focus inward. Ask yourself, am I growing? Am I making better choices than I did last year? Am I becoming a stronger, wiser, more disciplined version of myself? When you compare yourself to your past self, you gain clarity and direction. You stop chasing someone else's path and start focusing on your own. You recognize your own progress, no matter how small, and you begin to appreciate the journey instead of resenting where you are. How to apply this truth? Limit social media consumption. Reduce your exposure to unrealistic portrayals of success. Track your personal growth. Keep a journal or list of small victories. See how far you've come instead of worrying about others. Celebrate your progress. Every step forward, no matter how small, is worth acknowledging. When you stop looking sideways and start focusing forward, you reclaim your peace and purpose. You stop chasing someone else's definition of success and start defining your own. Now let's move to the next truth. Why fear of failure is worse than failure itself. How many times have you held yourself back from taking action? Not because you were incapable, but because you were afraid of failing. Maybe you didn't apply for that job because you thought you weren't qualified enough, or you avoided starting a new project, business, or passion because the thought of it not working out felt too overwhelming. This is where many people get stuck. They believe failure is something to fear, something to be avoided at all costs. But here's the truth. Failure itself is not what holds you back. Your fear of failure is. Reality. Failure is an inevitable part of growth. Look at the most successful people in any field. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, thinkers. What do they all have in common? They have failed. Repeatedly. Not once, not twice, but countless times. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination before building an empire. Elon Musk has had multiple failed ventures before leading SpaceX and Tesla. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent or luck, it's their mindset toward failure. The successful see failure as part of the journey, while others see it as a dead end. A new perspective. Every failure is data. Failure isn't personal, it's just information. Every setback, mistake, or missed opportunity is giving you feedback. It's showing you what needs to be adjusted, what doesn't work, and where to improve. Imagine if a scientist gave up every time an experiment failed. There would be no breakthroughs, no discoveries, no progress. You are no different. Your failures are guiding you, if you're willing to learn from them. How to apply this truth? Redefine failure as learning. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Start asking, what will I learn? Detach from perfectionism. You don't need to get it right the first time. Just start. Act. Despite fear, fear will always be there, but courage means moving forward anyway. When you stop fearing failure and start embracing it as part of growth, you unlock your true potential. Now let's move on to the next uncomfortable truth. Time is your most valuable asset, and most people waste it. There's one resource in life that you can never get back: time. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose possessions and replace them. But every second that passes is gone forever. Yet despite this, most people treat time as if they have an unlimited supply. They waste years chasing things that don't truly fulfill them. Status, material success, social approval, only to realize too late that they were running in the wrong direction. Reality, people waste years on what doesn't matter. Think about how much time is spent on things that add little or no value to life. Mindlessly scrolling through social media, engaging in pointless arguments, living by other people's expectations instead of their own values, putting off dreams for someday that never comes. How many people reach old age and regret not spending more time with loved ones, pursuing passions, or experiencing life to the fullest? No one lies on their deathbed wishing they had spent more time working late, obsessing over social media, or impressing people who don't matter. A new perspective. Are you spending time on what matters? The Stoics had a saying, memento mori. Remember that you will die. This isn't meant to be depressing, it's meant to wake you up. When you remember that time is limited, you start using it wisely. Ask yourself, if I only had 1 year left, how would I spend my time? Am I investing in relationships, passions, and personal growth? Or am I wasting time on things that don't align with my values? Every day is a deposit into the life you are building. Are you spending it wisely? How to apply this truth? Audit your daily routine. Track where your time actually goes for a week. You might be surprised at how much is wasted. Eliminate distractions. Cut out activities that don't align with your values or contribute to your growth. Prioritize what matters. Schedule time for things that bring meaning, relationships, health, learning, and purpose-driven work. Your time is your life. Spend it intentionally, because the only thing worse than running out of time is realizing you never truly lived. Now let's move to the next uncomfortable truth. No one is thinking about you as much as you think. How many times have you hesitated to do something because you were afraid of what others might think? Maybe you wanted to start a new project, change careers, or express your true thoughts, but the fear of judgment held you back. This is one of the biggest barriers to personal freedom. Worrying too much about other people's opinions. We imagine that people are constantly analyzing our choices, waiting to judge our mistakes. But here's the truth. No one is thinking about you as much as you think they are. Reality, people are too caught up in their own lives. Think about it. When was the last time you spent hours criticizing someone else's life decisions? Probably never. And even if you did notice something about someone, how long did you actually dwell on it? The reality is, most people are too preoccupied with their own problems, insecurities, and ambitions to spend much time thinking about you. They're not dissecting your failures or laughing at your missteps. They're worrying about their own. And yet we hold ourselves back because of an imaginary audience that isn't even paying attention. A new perspective. Even if they judge, it doesn't change your reality. Let's assume for a moment that some people are judging you. So what? Their opinions don't change the reality of your life. If you fail, you fail. If you succeed, you succeed. Their thoughts don't alter your outcome. Too many people live in fear of embarrassment, criticism, or rejection. But in the grand scheme of things, these moments are fleeting. People forget. You move on. And what's worse, living a life of regret just to avoid a few passing judgments. How to apply this truth? Catch yourself in the act. The next time you hesitate because of fear of judgment, remind yourself, no one cares as much as I think they do. Make decisions based on your principles. Ask yourself, if no one was watching, what would I choose? Let your values, not others' opinions, guide your life. Accept that you can't control others. Even if people do judge you, their thoughts are outside your control. Focus on what you can control, your own actions and mindset. When you stop living for external validation, you start living for yourself. And that's where real freedom begins. Now let's move to the next uncomfortable truth. Control is an illusion, except for your mindset. How much of your time and energy is spent trying to control things outside of your reach? Maybe you try to control other people, how they think, act, or feel. Maybe you obsess over outcomes, trying to force things to go exactly as planned. Or maybe you constantly worry about situations you have no real influence over. But here's the truth. Control is an illusion. No matter how much effort you put into shaping external circumstances, the world will still be unpredictable. People will still do what they want. Unexpected challenges will still arise. And yet most of our stress, frustration, and disappointment come from resisting this reality, from trying to control what we can't. Reality. The only thing you truly control is your own thoughts and actions. The Stoics understood a fundamental truth. You control nothing except yourself. You don't control the weather, but you control how you prepare for it. You don't control traffic, but you control how you react to it. You don't control what people say about you, but you control whether or not you let it affect you. Your power lies in your response. Every situation, good or bad, is filtered through your perception. And that perception is something you choose. Imagine two people experiencing the same setback. One falls apart in frustration, while the other sees it as a challenge to overcome. The difference? Mindset. A new perspective. When you stop resisting the uncontrollable, peace follows. Think about the amount of stress that comes from wishing things were different instead of accepting them as they are. Wishing your boss was different, wishing your partner behaved differently, wishing the past had gone another way. This resistance creates suffering. But when you accept reality for what it is and focus only on what's within your control, you free yourself. Peace isn't found in controlling everything. It's found in surrendering to what is and acting wisely within your sphere of influence. How to apply this truth? Recognize what's outside your control. When faced with a stressful situation, ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, let it go. Shift focus to your responses. Instead of trying to control external factors, focus on your own reactions, decisions, and mindset. Practice mental flexibility. Life is unpredictable. The more adaptable you are, the more peaceful you become. The moment you stop trying to control everything, you gain control over the one thing that matters most, yourself. Now let's move to the next uncomfortable truth. The more you chase happiness, the more it escapes you. Everyone wants to be happy. It's one of the most universal desires in life. But have you ever noticed that the harder you chase happiness, the more elusive it becomes? You tell yourself, I'll be happy when I get that job, when I make more money, when I find the perfect relationship. But when you finally get those things, the happiness is fleeting, and soon you're looking for the next thing. This is the trap of chasing happiness. It's always just out of reach, always dependent on the next milestone. Reality, happiness is a byproduct of living with purpose. The problem isn't that happiness doesn't exist. It's that happiness isn't something you can pursue directly. It's a byproduct, not a destination. Imagine you're running after a butterfly. The faster you chase it, the more it flies away. But the moment you stop and focus on something meaningful, building, creating, contributing, that butterfly lands on your shoulder. Happiness works the same way. It doesn't come from external achievements or possessions. It comes as a side effect of living with purpose. A new perspective. Pursue meaning, contribution, and self-respect. Instead of asking, how can I be happy? Ask yourself, what gives my life meaning? What can I contribute? Am I living in a way that earns my own self-respect? When you shift your focus from seeking happiness to seeking purpose, something incredible happens. Happiness finds you, not in the form of constant pleasure, but as deep fulfillment, even in difficult times. Look at people who dedicate their lives to something bigger than themselves. Artists, teachers, mentors, creators. They don't chase happiness, they chase meaning. And in doing so, they find something far greater than fleeting joy. How to apply this truth? Stop chasing happiness. Recognize that happiness isn't a goal. It's a result of how you live. Shift your focus to giving. Instead of asking, what can I get? Ask, what can I contribute to the world? Pursue growth, not pleasure. Seek challenges that push you to grow. True fulfillment comes from progress, not comfort. The more you chase happiness, the more it slips away. But when you focus on purpose, happiness follows naturally. Now let's move to the next uncomfortable truth. Your ego is your biggest enemy. Your ego is like a shadow you don't realize is controlling you. It whispers in your ear, telling you that you're always right, that you're more important than others, that you don't need to listen to criticism. It makes you defensive when someone challenges your ideas. It convinces you that seeking validation from others is the key to self-worth. But the truth is, your ego is your biggest enemy. It doesn't protect you, it limits you. Reality, the strongest people are those who embrace humility. Many believe that confidence comes from always being right or never admitting weakness. But the strongest and most successful people aren't those who inflate their egos. They're the ones who embrace humility. Think about the people you admire the most. Are they the ones who refuse to listen to others, or the ones who are constantly learning, growing, and adapting? Humility is not weakness. It's a superpower. When you let go of the need to be right, you open yourself up to growth, wisdom, and self-improvement. The greatest minds, whether in business, philosophy, or art, never stop learning because they know there's always room to improve. On the other hand, an inflated ego keeps you stuck. It makes you fear being wrong because you've tied your identity to your opinions. But being wrong isn't the problem. Refusing to learn is. A new perspective, detach from your ego, and growth will follow. Ego creates a barrier between where you are and where you could be. If you can detach from it, you unlock real progress. Instead of needing to prove yourself, you seek understanding. Instead of defending mistakes, you correct them. Instead of seeing feedback as an attack, you see it as a tool for growth. When you detach from your ego, you free yourself from the fear of looking foolish. And ironically, that's when you become the smartest person in the room, not because you know everything, but because you're always willing to learn. How to apply this truth? Seek learning over proving yourself right. Prioritize wisdom over validation. Accept feedback without defensiveness. The right criticism can be more valuable than praise. Recognize that growth requires discomfort. Being wrong is part of learning. Don't let your ego stop you from improving. The more you let go of your ego, the faster you'll grow. True strength comes not from pretending to be perfect, but from the courage to learn, evolve, and improve. Now let's move to the next uncomfortable truth. Pain is temporary, suffering is optional. Pain is one of the few guarantees in life. You will face setbacks, loss, disappointment, and struggle. It's unavoidable. But what if I told you that pain itself isn't the real problem? The problem is how we interpret pain, how we attach meaning to it. That's what creates suffering. Reality, you can feel pain without letting it control you. Pain and suffering are not the same thing. Pain is what happens to you. Suffering is what your mind does with that pain. For example, you lose a job. That's pain. You tell yourself, I'm worthless. I'll never recover from this. That's suffering. Someone betrays you. That's pain. You replay it over and over, holding on to resentment for years. That's suffering. Pain is a moment. Suffering is a choice. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that pain was an inevitable part of life, but suffering was optional. No matter what happened to them, they refused to be controlled by it. They didn't ignore pain. They simply chose not to let it define them. A new perspective. The mind decides whether pain becomes suffering. Think of pain like a fire. It can either burn you or forge you into something stronger. The difference? How you perceive it. If you resist pain, complain about it, or see it as unfair, it becomes suffering. But if you accept it as part of life, as a temporary experience rather than a permanent identity, it loses its grip on you. Pain will come, but it will also pass if you let it. How to apply this truth? Accept pain as an experience, not an identity. Pain is something you go through, not something you are. Stop resisting what you can't change. The more you fight reality, the more you suffer. Choose meaning over misery. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? The key to freedom isn't avoiding pain, it's learning to face it without fear. Now let's move to the final uncomfortable truth. Death is certain, so live accordingly. 3. 10. Death is certain, so live accordingly. 38 to 42. Most people live as if they have unlimited time. They put off their dreams, delay important decisions, and tell themselves, I'll do it someday. But someday is not guaranteed. We avoid thinking about death because it's uncomfortable. It reminds us that life is temporary, but ignoring death doesn't change its certainty. It only makes us waste the time we have. Reality, every second that passes is one you'll never get back. The Stoics had a powerful phrase, memento mori, remember that you will die. At first, this might sound dark or morbid, but in reality, it's one of the most freeing ideas you can embrace. Every second that passes is a second you'll never get back. Every day you spend waiting is a day lost forever. Every moment you waste on fear, procrastination, or distractions is time you will never regain. We think we have time, but we don't. Life is not something we are given. It's something we are spending, moment by moment. A new perspective. Instead of fearing death, use it as motivation to live with urgency. Death isn't the enemy. Wasting life is. Think about what really matters to you. If you knew you had only a year left to live, what would you do differently? Would you finally start that passion project? Would you spend more time with loved ones? Would you let go of petty worries? The truth is, you don't have unlimited chances. Every day that passes is one less day you have. Instead of fearing death, let it remind you to live fully. How to apply this truth? Make each day count. Don't wait for the right time. The right time is now. Stop waiting for someday. If something is important, act on it today. Live with purpose. Spend time on things that truly matter. Relationships, growth, and meaningful work. Your time is your most valuable currency. Spend it wisely, because once it's gone, you don't get a refund. Now let's wrap up with what all these truths mean and how you can start applying them today. We've covered 10 uncomfortable truths that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. But here's the paradox. The very truths we resist are the ones that set us free. Life isn't fair. Comparison is a trap. Failure isn't the enemy. Fear of failure is. Time is slipping away. Other people's opinions don't matter. Control is an illusion. Chasing happiness leads to emptiness. Your ego is holding you back. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. And finally, death is coming. So live accordingly. At first, these truths may feel heavy. They challenge everything we want to believe. But once you accept them, they become a source of power. Instead of resisting reality, you learn to navigate it. Instead of fearing life's unpredictability, you embrace it. Instead of trying to control everything, you master yourself. Stoicism isn't about ignoring emotions. It's about mastering them. Some people misunderstand Stoicism, thinking it's about suppressing emotions or becoming indifferent to life. But it's the opposite. Stoicism teaches you how to experience life fully, without being controlled by emotions, distractions, or illusions. It's about being steady in chaos. It's about having the mental strength to face anything life throws your way. It's about freedom, not the freedom to control everything, but the freedom to not be controlled by anything. Your challenge: pick one uncomfortable truth and apply it today. The goal isn't to master all 10 of these truths overnight. That's impossible. But you can start with one. Maybe you need to stop waiting for life to be fair and take full responsibility for your actions. Maybe you need to stop comparing yourself to others and start focusing on your own growth. Maybe you need to stop fearing failure and start seeing it as a teacher. Whatever it is, pick one truth today and start living by it. Life won't get easier, but you will get stronger. There will always be challenges, setbacks, and things beyond your control. But when you change your mindset, you change how you experience them. Life isn't about eliminating difficulties. It's about becoming the kind of person who can face them without breaking. Take action now. Don't just listen, apply it. If you found these truths valuable, don't just nod and move on. Take action. Share in the comments. Which of these truths hit you the hardest? Which one are you going to apply starting today? And if you want more content on mindset, stoicism, and personal growth, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Your mindset determines your life. The sooner you apply these principles, the sooner you start living with clarity, strength, and peace. Now go live accordingly.